Intimacy side of things isn't where I want it to be at the moment. It would be nice for more deeper compliments, a bit more physical touch and PDA, to then have something like this, buying lingerie and sex vouchers. It does feel like we've gone from 0 to 100.
If Sasha doesn't leave this poor man's name alone, I'm going to scream. Why is she still talking about Alex? Alex took his butt home. He's at home. He's enjoying himself. Why does she continue to bring up his name? Why does she continue to sort of talk about him? She needs to focus on her marriage to her husband and leave everybody else alone. And Amy. She thinks the grass is greener with Adam. The grass is not greener. It's just Adam is attracted to her. This is why he's doing everything to impress her. The reason why he doesn't do anything for his wife is because he doesn't like his wife like that. He's only doing everything he's doing after being begged by his wife and after realizing that this is the only way he can get a positive edit. And he's only doing everything he's doing for you just because he likes you, and he sees probably that he might have a chance if his marriage to his wife doesn't work and your marriage to your husband doesn't work. Make it make sense. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. It's your girl Valerie. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, share, and definitely leave a comment. Thank you very much for the comments. I will try and get back to them as soon as I can. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight UK, Season 9, Episode 26. So it's the morning after the commitment ceremony, and everybody's just reminiscing on the couples that went home and, on the feedback that they received from the experts. You have Lacey sort of moaning to Nate that, oh, why did he say I'm not classy? That offended me. I want an apology. And it's like, he said his wife is classy and has integrity. So why are you only holding on to the classy comment? And the producers are messy for showing a clip of Lacey with her crutch in this man's package area. I don't know how you can see that and still say it's classy. It's not. Just because Nate is not making a big deal of it doesn't mean it doesn't look bad. It looks terrible for somebody's wife to be doing that. That's wrong. And for her to demand an apology, it's like, how can someone apologize for you being taking offense to something that had nothing to do with you? He didn't say you were not classy. He just said his wife was classy and had integrity. Keep it moving. I don't get that. You have Kieran and Kristina. They're sort of talking about the fact that Kieran needs to come up with this list of, the qualities that he sees in his ex and Kristina and where they sort of cross over or where they're different. And it's like, I don't get this anymore. I feel like this man has decided to pull the parachute and jump, and is now looking for an excuse as to why this marriage is not going to work, because they've been getting along very well since week 1 up until they went to the couples retreat. Something happened at the couples retreat that we're not being told. This is why he's suddenly blaming the PMDD. You don't mean to tell me that this is the first time he's come across her symptoms, and yet this is the only time he's decided that, no, this is a bit too much for me. I think it's time for me to pull the parachute and jump. You have Adam and Polly having conversations about intimacy again. And it's like, the way they talk about intimacy, this is why I don't like the sort of the, what can I say? The double standard that is shown on this show, in the sense that when Alex says something, people are offended by him. But when someone like Rochelle, Sasha, Polly, Holly, Lacey says anything, then everybody else is fine with it. They see nothing wrong with it. And so I don't get why this woman continues to bring up the intimacy. I want more. Imagine if tables were turned and Adam was the one who kept saying, I want more intimacy. People would be up in arms. I keep saying this. People would be up in arms because people would say it's unacceptable for him to continue to ask for sex from his wife or to continue to want to kiss her. He needs to respect her autonomy. But because it's a man, everyone is okay with it. You have Luke and Amy, and they're having a conversation about the situation with Lacey and the fact that, Amy sort of highlighting that he might just need to apologize, even if he feels like he didn't do anything wrong. He still needs to apologize just for peace to reign. And I think he is starting to see that if he doesn't apologize, then he's going to be the next Alex, or he's going to be the next villain in this situation, as far as I'm concerned. The couples receive a letter to say that it's, partner swap, and they're going to be swapping everyone around. And I feel like Luke and Lacey were the only ones that were swapped for drama Everybody else doesn't make sense. I think Adam, they swapped him just to make Polly jealous and to bring out the evil side of her. Anyway, the couples are as follows. Luke is with Lacey, Ross is with Kristina, Kieran is with Sasha, and that situation makes me feel like they're trying to now revamp Sasha and Ross's character because they've realized that they're now in the mud and none of the fans like them. Adam is being put with Amy. That doesn't make sense to me. And Nate has been put with Polly. That also doesn't make sense to me because Nate is a quiet soul. Why would you want to punish him and put him with that woman? Anyway, Polly is now in her feelings. Oh, I feel some type of way because Amy's so beautiful and I'm worried that, what will happen while I'm not here. And she has the audacity to put her picture above the headboard. And it's like, please, it's not that deep. This man is not all that. The way you're making such a big deal, someone would think you're dealing with the most handsome man in the world. But hey, if that makes you comfortable and makes you sleep better at night, good for you. You have Lacey. She sits down for a conversation with Luke and tells him how she feels about the comment that he made. And he sort of lets her know that, yes, you're bigging up your wife, but I felt like it was a slap in my face. I felt offended. And at first he didn't want to apologize, but I think he realized that if he doesn't apologize, this is going to drain him for the rest of the week. So because he's someone who likes peace, he apologized and wrote it out in pastry, and she seemed to like that. I don't get how Amy went with 3 bags though. Where did she think she was going? She's only going for a week. Why was she carrying 3 suitcases? Anyway, side note. This woman is becoming annoying. She needs to leave this man alone. She hated Alex while he was there. She still hates Alex now that he's gone. If Sasha continues to bring up Alex's name one more time, I'm going to be furious because she says, oh, thank God, Alex is gone because this would have been terrible. Because I think she's imagining she would have been coupled up with him and they would have had to stay in the same space. And it's like, you called him everything under the sun. He's packed his bags and left. Why are you still bringing up his name? Why? You can move on. You can focus on you and your husband. Anyway, you have this conversation between Ross and Kristina because Kristina is saying that she's having to wait for her husband to come up with a list of the things that he feels are similar between his ex and Kristina. And Kristina is sort of saying, I am different, I'm unique, and I know that. So I don't get why he continues to compare me to his ex, and I don't know how much longer I can wait. And it's like, I feel like something has turned this man off, and Kristina knows it. The two of them know what happened. And so for her to continue to sit there and say, I'm waiting for him to make up his mind doesn't make sense to me. If it's not working, pack your bags, love, and take your dignity with you and go home. You don't need this little ukulele man to sort of continue to sort of mess you about. You might as well go home. You have... On his part, Kieran is busy having a conversation with Sasha, and he's saying to Sasha that I feel like there are a lot of similarities between my ex and Kristina. He has this list and he says they're similar on everything except for the fact that Kristina is more outgoing. And it's like, seriously, that's the only thing that you feel is different about them when it comes to their positives. Make it make sense. I don't get it, and I'm so confused. Because on his list of positives, he says they're both caring, understanding, spontaneous, happy-go-lucky, lots of dreams, amazing communication, thoughtful, polite, funny, and love animals. And so their only difference is that Kristina is outgoing. And it's like, okay, fine, that's their only difference. But from what you've told us, from what you've told the viewers, you said your ex was horrible to you. She was horrible. And she used to make you sit in your car after work until, she was good and ready for you to come in. Has Kristina done that to you as well? Is that what you mean? What exactly is it in particular that you don't like about them? And then he goes into this spiel about, I have goals and ambitions that I want to have accomplished by the time I'm 50. And Kristina just says all she wants to do is she wants to get married. And it's like, yeah, you are on a dating show. So what's wrong with her wanting to get married? You are on not even a dating show, but an actual marriage show. So what was your expectation? Well, I want her to prioritize herself and me to prioritize me. And it's like, in a marriage, that's not always going to work. That marriage won't last. Well, I've prioritized other people in previous relationships, and in this one, I want to prioritize myself, and I want her to prioritize herself. And it's like, you're just looking for excuses. You're just looking for excuses, because everybody knows in a relationship there needs to be a compromise. You need at times to sort of put your partner first if you want your relationship to work. You can't be all about me, me, me. And for you to say that, oh, she doesn't seem to have ambitions or goals, and it's like, have you said this to her? When she told you that her goal was to get married, have you said this to her? I know Sasha was saying, oh, some, men are brought up to be providers, so they should have careers and goals, and women are brought up to be nurturers. Gone are the days when that was the standard. Gone are the days when that was the standard. Yes, she might have goals. Just because she hasn't expressed that to him doesn't mean she doesn't have any goals. Maybe number one for her is getting married, and then she's got other things underneath her list. What are the other things that she's told him? He mustn't continue to come up with stupid excuses. I hate when he comes up with silly excuses and tries to sort of justify he's foolish. Anyway, and then you have Nate. Nate is in a world of his own. Nate is sort of saying to Polly, now I'm calling her Lacey, to Polly, oh, I would make you a lasagna from scratch, but I'm not in the mood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make your own oven dinner. And she just laughs, because at the end of the day, at least he's doing something for her. She's not having to stand up and cook for him. So, hey, it is what it is. You have Adam sort of having a conversation with Amy, and he's talking about the fact that he feels like he's being pressured into intimacy. And I've said this before, I don't get why we continue to allow this woman to pressure him into wanting to be intimate with her. If he's not comfortable, that's his prerogative. At the end of the day, if she were to say she's not comfortable making out with him, or she's not comfortable having sex with him, everyone would say he needs to respect that. Why can't she do the same? Why does she constantly have to complain that she feels like she's not getting enough? She feels like she wants some more. That's not right. That should be addressed. That should be sort of called out, because at the end of the day, everybody has the right to autonomy over their own body, and we can't say because it's a man, the woman gets to demand what she wants, but when the man demands what he wants from the woman, then it's a different story. I don't get it. And you actually see that Adam is more comfortable, more freer with Lacey. The fact that he's talking about intimacy, he's more bubbly, he's more giggly, he's more relaxed. And it's like, oh, does he fancy her then? So you have Luke and Lacey go for a dance class. I thought that was sweet. I really thought it was sweet. I like how respectful he was. Even though he had this magic mic moment, he didn't grind on her. He made sure that there was enough space between her and him. And the producers are messy because they didn't want to come from the side so that we see how far the gap was. But the fact that he actually fully participated, he did the stretches, he did the dancing, even though most of it was feminine, he still did it and didn't complain. And he was very relaxed. And so they sat down for a conversation, which I found very helpful on Luke's part, because Lacey was saying to him, you don't need to overcompensate. You don't need to overdo it. You don't need to say the cringy stuff in order to win her over. Just be yourself and she will like you for who you are. Because he was saying, at times when he puts his arm around her, she's very stiff and it's like, because she's always anxious about what's going to come out of your mouth. In my opinion, she's always worried that you're going to say something inappropriate or something cringy, because at the wedding she was a bit put off because she felt he was very cringe. And I think if he can work on that, he will be an amazing husband, because he's very compassionate, empathetic, understanding, and he's always there for his partner and others. So I like that about him, and I hope he takes that on board, and I hope Lacey on her part is able to learn from him and sort of use whatever she gains from him in her own marriage. You have Sasha and Ross and Kieran and Kristina. They go on a double date to what looks like a putt-putt court. And for me, that was aux galore. That was aux galore, because I think Sasha is trying to do too much. She should have just minded her own business. The fact that she kept trying to sort of push Kieran to assist Kristina didn't make sense. And then they sort of stopped and they were having a conversation, the four of them, and it came up, the fact that they're still in this limbo situation whereby they don't know what to do, and they're also sort of struggling because Kristina is waiting for Kieran to come up with his plan. Kieran then has the audacity to say to her that, I've made the list and it seems outside of, you being outgoing, your positives, you and my ex are the same. And it's like, you knew this from the start. You carried this woman on for 4 weeks and made her believe that things were working amazingly well, only for you to turn around now and say, actually, I've changed my mind. I don't really like you. I think you are just as bad as my ex. Because he started off by talking about the fact that, well, you put your husband first and, I put my career. And she said, but I've got a business. And at this point in time, I feel I need a husband. So if she's got a business and that's sorted and she wants a husband, what's wrong with that? If she was someone who wasn't working, because we've never heard of Sasha's career, no offense to her, we've never heard outside of pageantry what she actually does for a living. And so this woman is saying she's got a career, she's got her own business that she runs, but she feels she doesn't need a husband, but she feels she wants a husband, and that's her goal at this point in time. She's 31. If she plans on having children, she needs to get her ass in gear. And so I support her for that. And for him to say, well, I still feel like, my career should come first at this point in my relationship. And I'm happy that she asked him that. So why are you here? If your career is number one, well, I want to get married. Well, so if you want to get married, then you're prioritizing marriage then. Otherwise, you'd be chilling at your home and doing your work and sort of progressing in your career. I don't know why she didn't say that. And then after he sort of made this comment about, outside of the outgoing, you and my ex are similar, she stormed off, and she had every right to storm off because of the nasty things he said about his ex, about how she treated him. And Kristina has tried to be as nice to him as possible, outside of whatever happened at the couple's retreat. And so for him to then paint her with the same brush, I get her frustration and I get her anger. I think this should have been addressed in front of the experts. I think they should have had an expert visit instead of couple swap, and the experts should have gone through the list with them and then actually help them reach an understanding. I feel like at this point, Kristina needs to write leave for her own sanity and her own sort of peace of mind. She needs to write leave, and she needs to save herself from a broken heart. Yes, she's going to be brokenhearted because this man gave her the impression that things were working. They're not working, but I feel like she needs to write leave because this marriage is not going anywhere. This man is looking for an excuse, and every excuse. He's taken a page out of the Casper handbook, and this is what he's doing. He's looking for every single thing that he can pick, and he's throwing it against the wall to see what will stick. Adam is really enjoying wife swap, isn't he? I think the only other person who would have enjoyed wife swap as much as him would have been Casper, but sadly Casper went home before wife swap. Anyway, he goes lingerie shopping with Amy. They go to what looks like Ann Summers, I think, and so they're looking at sex toys, they're looking at games, they're looking at lingerie. And at first he was very stiff, and then he became too comfortable because he started asking Amy, I want you to model these for me. And it's like, she's not your wife. She's not going to model that for you. You need to wait for your wife to model that for you. You can't be that comfortable. For him to sort of mock Luke's manhood, and it's like, how do you know what it looks like? Make it make sense. I didn't like that comment. I felt that was inappropriate and it was a bit below the belt. I like the fact that Amy told him straight out that I'm not going to model this for you. You'll have to wait for your wife to do that for you. And then so they were looking at bra sizes, and then he sent his wife a message because you had Polly in the gym with Nate, because Nate was sort of showing her what he does to cope with his ADHD. And he was sort of saying he's found that gymming helps him a lot. Amy saying, she has ADHD as well. I don't remember her saying that. I might have missed it. And for her, it comes out in the sense that she likes security. She likes to know that the person she's with cares about her. And it's like, I don't think that's it. I really don't think that's it. And for her to punch the bag and say, I want more. This is how I'm going to behave if Adam doesn't give me, intimacy. And it's like, please, no. This is becoming way past cringe. This is becoming concerning, very concerning. Anyway, she receives the text message about, what's your bra size? And then she gets upset that why is he going shopping with Amy? And it's like, so what did you want him to do? Amy's trying to help him with his marriage. You're in the gym with Nate. He's trying to help you sort of see how he copes with his ADHD. What do you think? She took him lingerie shopping so that she can model for him. She took him lingerie shopping for what? And for her to start crying, this has thrown me. Maybe this is not the relationship for you. How about that? Why not go home and look for someone who will love you and appreciate you the way you want to be loved? Not someone who you're constantly pushing and other people are constantly pushing to do stuff for you. And then when he does stuff for you, you're upset because he didn't do it the right way. You wanted to be the one to go lingerie shopping with him. You feel he's not doing it because he's only doing it because somebody else is pushing him. Make it make sense. This man told you this wasn't his thing. Someone out of the goodness of their heart is trying to sort of show him that he can do it in a lighthearted way. He doesn't have to be serious about every single thing. And now you're upset. Make that make sense? It's interesting that when going to bed, everybody, all the other husbands, well, we didn't see where Ross and Kieran slept, but I would assume they slept on the couches. But every other husband, bar Adam, slept on the couch. And Adam has the audacity to climb into bed with Amy. And it's like, oh my God, Polly's going to lay a chicken and an egg at the same time because she won't be happy. If she's upset about the Ann Summers thing, I can only imagine how she'll feel knowing that they actually shared a bed because you had poor Nate squeezing his big self onto the couch, and you even had Luke squeeze his big self onto the couch as well. So I don't know how their partners will feel, his partner will feel knowing that he actually shared a bed and was talking about the fact that he normally sleeps in the nude. He wanted to take off his ring because he says he sleeps without his ring, and it's like, why? I don't get that. In the morning, you had the husbands making breakfast, and you have Amy saying she's being treated like a princess because normally Luke doesn't do this for her. And Luke is making breakfast for Lacey, and it's like, make it make sense. We have seen him make you breakfast, if I'm not mistaken, or we have seen him do things for you. What do you mean he doesn't do anything for you? Are you trying to make Adam feel good about himself? I don't get it. Adam is really pulling out the stops. He makes egg on toast, poached egg on toast with avocado. He's saying this is the bare minimum. And it's like, for Polly to get that, she had to beg you. So you can't say this is the bare minimum unless you're saying this is the bare minimum for someone you like. Then maybe, not because this is just the ordinary bare minimum. Polly obviously is busy moaning to Nate that I'm worried. I want to have a conversation with Adam because I want to know why they went to buy the lingerie. And it's like, maybe because you wanted him to do something romantic, and Amy took it upon herself to do something, help him do something romantic for you. Why don't you look at it that way? And why don't you go and see exactly what's there first? I like positive guy Nate because positive guy said to her, you need to look at the bright side of things. Don't always look at the negatives. Look at the bright side and see, what you can make of it. Don't just complain that, oh, why did he do this? Why did you do that? Look at the bright side of it. And I'm like, yeah, well done. You have Luke have a conversation with Lacey, and he's saying, actually, she is a very classical. I think spending time with her, he's got to know her and has reached a better understanding. And I love the fact that there was no unnecessary drama between the two of them, because I think the producers were hoping for fireworks and they didn't get the fireworks. So this, I think, is a surprise for them. So he says to Lacey, well, if I'm actually honest, I feel like maybe part of me was jealous. And yes, he was jealous. There's no two ways about it. He did say, I don't like that, because he was jealous. Jealous is why he sort of spoke about the fact that, she's always classy and has integrity. He said, he was jealous because he felt he and his partner don't have that. And the same thing for Nate and Lacey. We haven't seen Lacey do this with Nate. So it's nothing new. And for Lacey to say that's a dig, it's not a dig. It's not a dig. It's him looking at his relationship reflectively and sort of being envious of something that he wishes he had. It's not him saying, oh, my partner is so, I don't like my partner. I hate the fact that I'm not attracted. No, he is attracted to his partner, but it's just there's this awkwardness at times that he's wishing that they would get rid of. That way they could be in a good space whereby they're able to do spontaneous things like going dancing. That's what he says. Anyway, so wife swap is over, and you have, the spouses go back to their apartments. You have Ross and Sasha having a conversation about Kieran and Kristina and how the group date was very awkward and how they're happy to be together. And it's like, they really like talking badly about other people, because outside of that, they have nothing really going for them. Instead of them sort of doing stuff that sort of gives them a storyline and a story arc, they're busy focused on everybody else's marriage. They need to mind their own business. You have Kieran and Kristina, they're in separate apartments because obviously of the fallout from the group date. So they're spending time apart to see if they can sort of come back to where they were, or whether it's time to call it quits. You have Luke and Amy. Amy sort of talking about the fact that, she's in this space whereby she had an amazing time. She was pampered. She was treated like a princess. And it's like, please keep quiet. Please. He's not all that. Adam is not that amazing. Please don't make something out of a mountain out of a molehill. And all you're doing is, it's coming across as though you're trying to sort of talk badly about your husband or bring down your husband's morale because he's not treating you as amazingly as you feel that Luke treated you. And this was only a couple of days. Imagine what it's like if you stay with him long term. And it's not a good idea for her, in my opinion, to be saying all those things to Luke, because it comes across as a slap in the face, because Luke is trying the best that he can. If she has been in the role of being the caretaker of the family and has been happy to do that, why suddenly is she saying that and using it as a slap in the face to sort of devalue his worth or devalue his contribution to their relationship? I didn't like that. You have Polly come back to the apartment. She sees everything Adam has laid out for her. Obviously, he's got the vouchers for sex, he's got the toys, he's got everything, and she's now upset that, oh, why did he do it? Oh, he only did it because, you know, Amy was making him do it. And it's like, he's a grown man. He doesn't need to be dragged to do anything. You asked him for intimacy. He asked somebody else for support or for help or for guidance. They gave him the guidance. Now you're crying that, oh, why did he do that? Make it make sense. Did you want the intimacy, or did you want it at your pace as you prescribed it? I don't get it, and she's now getting on my last nerve. I'm sorry, it really is getting on my last nerve, and my patience with her is really wearing thin. And you can see Adam as well, his patience with her is wearing thin, because she's complaining he's gone from 0 to 100. But you kept saying you wanted more, you wanted more, you wanted more. Now you have more, now you're crying. Make it make sense. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 25. Bye guys.